school, a job. Two Ukrainian families living in Stoughton have all three, sort of. For months now, the feds haven't given those families the work permits needed to utilize those jobs that they have lined up and waiting. It's a predicament shared by thousands of Ukrainians. The children are in school, but their parents still in limbo, wanting to work.
So we are waiting 4 months already.
You've met the Sokor and Romashchenko families before. Fleeing the war in Ukraine, they resettled in Stoughton in April. Yet here we are in September. None of the four parents have their work permits.
My wife is volunteer now in school.
Grateful from one point of view that there is like an opportunity to be a volunteer. But why not working?
We would say in Ukraine, like, you're sitting on someone's shoulders, and we don't want to sit like this and want to work, to be useful, to do something, to pay taxes.
Renee Lushai helped found the Stoughton Resettlement Group. They're helping these and other Ukrainian families resettle.
I guess I don't understand what the complication is. I mean, we have 4 families ready and willing and begging to work.
She's gotten Senator Tammy Baldwin's office involved, but even her office hasn't had much luck.
Slava is a constant joker. The other day I was over there, we were celebrating Natalia's birthday, and I was asking and we were talking, and I said, is there anything you guys need? You have food, you're good, right? What do you need? And Slava, work permit, work permit, work permit. So that's all they're waiting for.
What's happening to these two families in Stoughton is happening to families all over the country. In fact, just this morning, 2 senators sent a letter to the feds demanding action on work permit backlogs. The letter to the head of the Federal Citizenship and Immigration Services cited thousands of Ukrainians arriving since April still waiting on permits, some told to wait a year. A different senator in June cited a backlog of 1.5 million work permit applications. For context, before the Trump administration, there was a rule that work permits had to be issued within 90 days.
Have to keep pressuring our government to really help these families.
Fabiola Hamden manages the Immigration Affairs Department for Dane County. Their office is managing casework for 12 Ukrainian families, 11 of whom are waiting on permits.
Just same thing happened with the Afghan families. Once you move to another country, I think financial stability comes first, so you can move on with your life.
If our country offered and invited them into our country, which we did, and we're happy they're here, our community is so much richer for it, then we have to make sure we have the infrastructure and the capacity in place to be able to help them help themselves.
You just heard from Fabiola Hamden with Dane County's Immigration Affairs. Here's a bit more from our conversation.
And not only with the Ukrainian families, this is what we have right now, but when we had the Afghan families, same thing, right? I mean, there were barriers after barriers that they had to go through, not only adjusting to the new life, and if you think, given that their home countries are in war or in chaos, it just adds up to the stress that these families are having.
Do you remember offhand, like, what the average number of months was for Afghan refugees to get their work permits? Was it 6 months, 9 months?
We'll think that some of them are still waiting, maybe after 6 months. I think the quickest, if I can remember correctly, at that time was between 4 to 5 months.
We'll be right back.